All right, we should be live now. All right, so good morning, everybody. Hopefully, everybody is doing well. Let me just turn down my, um, there, 31 decibels. Yes. So, welcome in, everybody. Hopefully, everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful Monday so far. I'm doing this stream for a specific reason here. I've had my RodeCaster Pro 2 for a few weeks. Um, for a few weeks now. I got it for my birthday a few weeks back, and I've wanted to do this stream. I've wanted to do this stream for a while now, for the last couple days now, and basically just to basically answer whatever questions you guys may have about the RodeCaster Pro 2 unit. Now, I didn't ping out in my official Discord about this because this is a niche type stream that only a few people are going to really have an interest in due to the fact that it's covering a very specific topic. But yeah, and welcome, Zach. Yes, this is my new mixer. The I almost said Mackie Mixtape, but it's the RodeCaster Pro 2. Now, for those of you guys who don't really know much about it, this is the stream for you because along with answering your questions, I am also going to basically walk you through what this mixer is all about and what kind of features that you can expect to be able to do with it. Now, one of the things that is really neat about the about this specific software is you have a software that goes with this specific unit. So if you don't want to, say for example, do everything on the unit, the RodeCaster Pro 2 unit itself, you have this software here that allows you to go through and change the settings by itself. I think that's a really neat little sorry, I was having a banana before I started streaming. But yeah, you can essentially go through here and adjust everything as you would normally. Now, one of the neat things about this as well is you can actually adjust what inputs go to where, adjust phantom power. You can adjust everything directly from this software. But for the most part, we are not going to be talking about the software. We're going to be getting hands-on with the RodeCaster Pro 2 in today's live stream, and I'm going to show you around the unit, show you some of my favorite features of it. So, basic information. Basic information about the RodeCaster Pro 2. I need to get a link here. So basically, the RodeCaster Pro 2, Rode advertises the RodeCaster Pro 2 as an all-in-one digital creation studio. Now, I got this from my birthday. But I have it on my Amazon list. So let me pull up my Amazon list. Let me pull up my Amazon list. So here we go. So this is what Amazon. This is how Amazon is a decent XLR setup. Hey, what up, Cletus? Welcome. Yeah, it's a decent XLR setup as well. So this is the RodeCaster Pro 2 as you see it on Amazon. The Rode advertises this as an all-in-one production studio for podcasting, streaming, music production, and content creation. And going through some of these pictures here, you can see it looks pretty much exactly like this picture right here specifically is exactly the same as what it's shown here. Although I've made some minor adjustments to the LEDs on it. So as you guys can see, the RodeCaster Pro 2 does have 6 different faders here. Now these faders can be assigned to whatever you want. Now as you can see here in this one, you can see they have it just set up in their normal setups. How much is that? This runs for $700 on Amazon, but you'll understand why I think it's worth it as the stream progresses today. So, you can see, you will notice I have adjusted mine a little bit. In fact, actually, let's zoom into the screen a little bit. So it's going to be hard for you to see because of the lower quality, but you can see you might just barely be able to make out that that I've set up my routing for the audio in very separate ways to what the website, the Amazon pictures show. You can see I have channel 1 set for microphone 1 right there. Channel 2 is for microphone 4, which is my headset mic that I'm talking to you on. You can see the levels going up as I adjust the you can see the levels going up as I'm speaking on the RodeCaster Pro 2's 5.5-inch mobile-sized screen. Now, one of the things, just to show you that it is actually a mobile-sized screen, just to show you that it is a mobile-sized screen, this is my iPhone 12 screen with it on. You can see it's more like something like one of the older iPhones that had the smaller screens, but it's still quite a significant thing. Hold on, I need to go check something. Give me 1 second. My apologies for that. I heard my refrigerator making noises downstairs, and I thought it was my mom coming home. So, yeah, interesting. But yeah, let me put this back on my normal zoom. So yeah, you can see 5.5-inch touchscreen. It is actually a touchscreen, as you saw at the start of the stream while I was adjusting my gain a little bit. There is so much you can do with this mixer. It's not even funny. There is so many features, and I'm making use of pretty much all of them, actually. So as you guys can see, oh yeah, that's right. I was showing you how I have my channels laid out before I thought I heard my garage door opening. So let's zoom back in. So you can see channel 2 that is set for my headset microphone, and then this RodeCaster Pro 2 has a slew of different inputs and outputs. Now, to best show you this, I'm going to switch over to my display capture so I can show you in greater detail what these ports are when they're not in use. So starting from the left and working your way over to the right, you have a power button with a USB Type-C for power. No, you cannot use this third USB-C to connect to a computer. You have to use the only way you can use it is for power. Right below that, you have a Kensington lock. That is actually used for, you get a little thing in the box that you might not know what it's for, but it's actually a cable management strip. So that way, if you need to do some cable management at all, you have the ability to do so. If you don't want to, if you don't want the power to be lost on your RodeCaster Pro 2 when you tug on the cable by accident, this Kensington lock thingy, plastic thingy, it keeps the cable secure so that way it doesn't pop out if you accidentally pull on the power plug. Moving on from there, you have a micro SD card slot, which I'm currently using with a 32 gig micro SD card slot. That's mainly to save my shows, all my settings and stuff, just in case something happens with the RodeCaster Pro 2 unit itself. Below that, we got an Ethernet port. This does also have built-in Wi-Fi, so if you would rather not use the Ethernet port to get your firmware updates, you can either do it through Wi-Fi, or you can also use the Rode Central app to update your RodeCaster Pro 2 over USB. Moving on from there, we have two USB Type-C ports. Now, this is where you guys will be able to see how I'm using my mixer. So, as you guys can see, I have channels 3, 4, and 5 dedicated to USB input. So you can see as I move those faders, you can see those faders are represented as moving on the screen. Now, the best way for me to show you this is also going to be through Rode Central, because this camera is not great. It does not have a optical zoom. It uses a freaking digital zoom. So going back to Mr. Rode Central app, this gives you a better idea. This gives you a better idea of how I have everything set up. I'm going to zoom out here so that we get a nice background here. So this is how I have everything set up on my RodeCaster Pro 2. So the channel 1, that is for my studio microphone, so that's going to be my Rode Pod mic. You have the second channel, which is for my headset mic, which I'm talking to you on right now. So like I said, as you guys can see, as I'm talking, the fader for channel 2 is moving up. And then channel 3 is for USB 1. Channel 4, USB 1 chat. Channel 5 for USB 2. Now, the neat thing about these USBs is you can route different pieces of audio through those USB inputs. So USB 1, that's for my system-wide audio and games. So games and system audio, that's USB 1. USB 1 chat is going to be for Discord. And USB 2 is for my Spotify. And then you can see I have a stereo pair with inputs 2 and 3. So if we go back to this, you can see there are 4 XLR inputs. Which, by the way, moving on from these USB ports real quick, you also have 4 quarter-inch TRS headphone jacks and then 2 quarter-inch TRS jacks for speakers, monitors. I may end up using that at some point. But yeah, you have a combo Neuralink XLR quarter-inch TRS jacks. And so you can, input 1, that input 1 is used for my pod mic, and then I have input 4 for my other mic. For my headset mic. Now, the reason why I do that is because this headset mic also uses a it has a separate cable for both the microphone and for the actual headphones part of it too. So I'm keeping those as close as possible to avoid strain on the cable. And then I have a stereo pair of USB 2 and 3, a line out coming out from my left monitor, which is the monitor I'm using to monitor the stream, and I have that coming into the RodeCaster through inputs 2 and 3, running that as a stereo pair, and then that is used for my web browser audio. So to give you a little bit of a demonstration of how I have these channels set up, I'm going to start up some non-copyrighted music over on Spotify. So we're going to go with Stream Beats Synthwaves. So you will see, actually, so let me switch over to there. So there you go. You can see we're playing the song. The volume is up through Spotify, but we're not hearing anything. Watch what happens when I bring up channel. Watch what happens when I bring up channel 2 or channel 5, the channel 5 fader right here. So you can hear the music comes through on the stream just fine. You can hear the music only comes through when this fader is moved up. And you can see I'm also adjusting my headphone output as well. So you can hear the music is in the background. And as long as this fader is up, the fader determines how loud the source is. So if I turn it down, the volume goes down and you fade out. However, if I turn it up a lot, up to where Unity is at, which is labeled here by this thicker stripe, if I turn that up all the way, you can see that is what it sounds like at Unity level. In fact, actually, do I have a boost going on here? Oh, I do. Let me drop that down to about 7 dB. So there you go. So that's a quick demonstration of how those faders work. The same thing applies for the chat channel and the main USB channel. It also applies to this channel. So the way I am essentially using this while I'm setting my thing back to my main monitor. So the way I'm using the mixer setup here, is these first 2 channels are dedicated for microphones, and then the other 4 are for system-wide audio adjustments. Now, you can see there are some smart pads over here, and that's because there are some unique features within that are built into the RodeCaster Pro 2. So if we go back to our Rode Central software and we go back here, this is the main audio adjustment. So that was the audio setup right here. Device configuration. This is where you go to if you want to adjust everything here. In fact, you can actually set the record button as well. Oh my god, there's haptics? So there are a few different things you can adjust with this. You can adjust the display. You can adjust what outputs what outputs you're using. And you can also do system settings. So you can have MIDI information, and then I believe network is going to show. I thought the network showed my stuff. That shows that. I probably shouldn't be showing that on stream, but But in the information tab, you can see your firmware version, which at the moment I'm currently up to date. I'm on version 1.2.2. And then if for whatever reason you're having issues with the RodeCaster unit, you have a handy reset device button. I would suggest not using that unless you absolutely need to. In fact, actually, available firmware. So in the settings, that's where you check to see if you have any firmware updates. So like I said earlier, you can update the firmware on the RodeCaster Pro in 3 different ways. You can do it either over Wi-Fi, over Ethernet, or you go into Rode Central and you update your device over USB. I do mine over Wi-Fi, but I might disconnect mine from the Wi-Fi and just use it through Rode Central, because that actually would make more sense. So to keep things off the network that really don't need it. Because the only thing that this RodeCaster Pro 2 needs network for is for those firmware updates. So you can see the monitor out goes to speakers. There are local recordings. You can set the location for where you want the local recordings to be. So customize smart pads. So now this is where things get interesting. So the RodeCaster Pro 2 does have smart pads here. So you can see right there, you can see we're on page 2. And then if we go to page 1, you can see different ones there too. So if I wanted to say, for example, play the air horn, there you go. All I have to do is press the smart pad that is, all I have to do is set the smart pad, press the smart pad that the soundboard is on, and then you can do that. Now, as you guys can see, I have actually added a few to my RodeCaster Pro 2 as well, in the form of the reverb fart, the metal pipe, and finally, the best one of all,
I just shit my pants.
Shat my pants. So those are the ones that I've added. I'm probably going to add more as time goes on. However, there are also other ones that you can do. So if I wanted to... So now, something I do want to point out about the actual voice effects right here, the 6 ones right here. I found this out myself. You can only use those on one microphone at a time. You cannot set these to be multi-input effects. So I can't use these on this microphone. However, if I go to this microphone and I listen into it back through my main audio voice, and I turn on one of the voice effects,
you can see it actually changes the voice because I am using the microphone that it is set to.
So the way it works is you can only set all of these inputs to one specific channel. Now, in order for me to do that, I have to throw my RodeCaster Pro 2 into transfer mode in order to be able to edit those. So I'm not going to be able to edit those on stream, but I'll give you a little demo of what these sound effects sound like if you're on the fence about purchasing this for the sound effects. So starting off, we have
voice disguise. You could use this if you didn't want people to know what you sounded like, or if you were trying to be like anonymous or some shit.
Next one, I don't know why anyone would use this, but if you ever wanted to
sound like Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks, this voice effects is for you. Like I said, I don't know why anyone would want to use this, but it's there if you want to use it.
Now, this next one would come in real handy if you play 5M and are a part of a police department. You can talk through a megaphone, or, for roleplay purposes, you could talk through the loudspeaker of your police cruiser. Albeit if you did /me and roleplayed it out that you were actually turning on your car's megaphone instead of just randomly turning this on in the middle of a scene. That will become very useful in circumstances where, like I said, with the police stuff, you could be like, "This is the Blaine County Sheriff's Office. Stop the vehicle. Come out with your hands up," or some form of variation of that. Now, you also have Monster,
which, I'm gonna be honest, it sounds very, very similar to the voice disguise effects. So
I would suggest if you want to use something like the Monster one,
just use the voice disguise, because as you can hear, I'm going to switch over to the Monster one. They do sound very, very similar. The only thing I can notice that's different is that there is the echo is more pronounced on this voice effects instead of the voice disguise.
So I don't know why you would want to use the monster effect. I mean, if you wanted to sound like a monster, you could. And then my favorite ones out of this are the
large robot and the small robot.
But I do like the large robot a lot better because I could be like,
Ford Bob version 2.0. Initializing. Update available. Would you like to download?
I would probably use that to just be like when I'm just messing around with friends in a Discord call. I wouldn't really use this on stream at all. Or when I'm like doing police stuff. The only real voice effects that I could really see myself using when I'm doing like GTA RP stuff is the megaphone, because police use megaphones in real life. So this makes a lot of sense for RP purposes for the realism of it as well. And you can hear it also had a little bit of an echo to it as well. So yeah, so those are the sound effects that you can get there too. Now another thing that you could probably use if you were streaming and you're trying to be like a family-friendly channel, if you're about to say like a swear word, you could be like, "What the?" Because there is a censor button built in to the RodeCaster Pro 2. So if you know you're about to swear, you can still swear, but you just hit the censor button, and what it does is it mutes every single input and output and just replaces it with a censor bleep like you would hear on TV. So I could be like, "What the are you up to?" And the censor, it mutes all those outputs. I actually didn't say the swear words, but if you were about to say it, you could easily hit that. That mutes all outputs, replaces it with a censor bar to make sense, to actually make it work. So now this next feature, I actually need to go in and play you a music bed that loops. So luckily, there's actually one built into the RodeCaster Pro 2. So if I just start this, if I just start that, you can hear. I'm just turning that down a little bit. So you can hear we have a voice bed going on in the background. However, if it's too loud, I can enable the ducking, and in theory, all right, I don't know why that's not working. I don't know why that wasn't working, but in theory, what you could use the ducking for is if you had like a music going on in the background, or actually, it might actually work with this. So if I bring back Spotify real quick, and then I enable the ducking, yeah. There we go. Now it's working properly. So if you have like music going on or any other sources going on while you're streaming that you want to be lower when you're talking, you can enable the ducking, and that will automatically lower down the audio volume while you're speaking. And then when you're done speaking, it immediately raises up that volume again. Now, I haven't actually looked into it to see if there's like settings to determine how long the ducking lasts for, but I'm sure there are settings built into that. So that's what the sound pads are like. Like I said, you can add the sound pads. You can add more sound pads to this by putting your RodeCaster Pro 2 into transfer mode and adding them using the Rode Central app. It actually does make sense to use that for the Rode Central app. So now we're going to switch back to my other microphone. So we're back now on the headset microphone, because I'm going to show you some more features of the RodeCaster Pro 2 as well. So you will notice there is a record button right up here. Now, if you're doing a podcast, for example, and you want to record that podcast onto the RodeCaster Pro 2 itself, assuming you do have a micro SD card here, like I'm going to pop out my micro SD card. It's not going to cause any issues because all I'm using it for is my show file. But you can see I have a SanDisk Ultra 32 gigabyte micro SD card. I'm surprised at how tiny these are. However, if you have a micro SD card, you can plug it into the RodeCaster Pro 2, which I'm about to do. And you'll see on the screen here, you'll see once it detects, it will show you that I have 12 plus hours remaining of recording time remaining on that SD card. Now, if I wanted to hit record, there's a big record button right here. However, I don't use the record thing. My main uses for this are mainly as like an audio mixer, audio interface, audio mixer, and a headphone preamp for these headphones, so that way to improve my stream audio. And I've got to say, after using this for quite a while now, I'm very, very happy with how it is. I'm very happy with how things operate on it. Um, it has been, I haven't had any issues with the unit as well. So I'm very, very happy about that. I'm going to turn down this microphone a little bit so that way we're not peaking. But yeah, I am very, very happy with the RodeCaster Pro 2. And one of the other neat things about this unit is you can also, here, let me bring myself down to about 25 dB. Yeah. So, yeah. So one of the other things that I really like about this RodeCaster Pro 2 is if you go into a channel, you can see in fact, can I actually show this to you through Rode Central? I don't think I can, but I want to look. Oh yeah, here we go, right here. So if we go back, if I show you my Rode Central app, there are various different things you can set your microphone to. So say for example, I have one of the Rode wireless Goes or whatever, which I might actually look into using that for streams where most notably I might use that for my computer upgrade stream. We'll talk about that a little later as well because this is also a channel update stream, but I'm still going over RodeCaster Pro 2 stuff. So the Rode, you can use that. There's also presets for the pod mic, the broadcaster, the Procaster, not to be confused with the RodeCaster Pro 2. Yeah, the Rode NT1, NT1A, and then you have what's the word I'm thinking of? You have presets for competing microphones too. So the RE20 the Shure RE20 and the Shure SM7B, those are two wildly popular microphones. And Rode has actually built in some presets for that. Honestly, I should have just saved my money and got an SM7B because that would have been a really good mic to have as it is. So Shure SM7B, and they got the RE20. And then if we go over past the condenser mics and the dynamic mics, you also have options for an instrument and a line in. So say, for example, if I go into my stereo pair, you can see if I go to my stereo pair, which is right here, you can see I have it set to a line in. I have all processing disabled, all effects disabled, because this is just a simple line in from my monitor that's outputting my browser audio into the RodeCaster, going out to my headphones. I don't need processing for that. Same goes for the USB inputs as well. I do not need processing for any of these USB outputs because there's just no point. They're literally there just so I can adjust audio levels as I see fit. So other inputs that are available here, you also have the soundboard right here. And then something else this thing has Bluetooth built into it. So I could connect my phone to it actually, which actually I'm going to turn my phone's Bluetooth on. And I'm going to connect to the RodeCaster Pro 2, which it should be able to connect very easily as well. So now we are connected to the RodeCaster Pro 2. If I go into my Bluetooth settings, you'll see it's saying my first name with my iPhone. So it's saying it's connected to my device. And then if, say, for example, I go to Spotify and start playing some music there, which the way I have my routing set up, I have to use the rotary encoder to adjust the volume. So say, for example, I wanted to play some music off of my phone here into my RodeCaster. If I turn up the volume on the Bluetooth channel, Okay, I don't know why. Oh wait, I gotta adjust the output routing. There we go. So now you can hear I have music going through my phone, and if I hit pause, it pauses. But if I hit play, it plays. So I could see. Let me just disable that listen. So I could see the Bluetooth on this being useful if you have like a podcast show where you allow people to call into that show. You could bring them onto the stream. You can bring them onto the stream over Bluetooth, or if you have an Android device, you can use one of the USB outputs. I believe you can use USB 2 and connect callers that way. Unfortunately, that does not work with USB with iPhones. You have to use Bluetooth for it. But I think that is a fair compromise. I think that is definitely a fair compromise, having to use Bluetooth for connecting like people who call into your radio show over the phone. Because I haven't really tested this out too much myself, so I can't be certain whether or not this actually helps with if you can actually talk to people through your input devices. So that would be either my pod mic or my headset microphone. I have not tested that out yet, but if somebody does call me, I will be sure to test that out. So, yeah. So that's really all I have for you in terms of the RodeCaster Pro 2. I'm actually going to wrap up the stream here because I do need to go to the bathroom. I'll do a channel update later today, like this afternoon. To give you guys an update as to whether or not what's going on with the channel, what kind of channel plans I have, because I do need to go to the bathroom. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions relating to the RodeCaster Pro 2, leave them down below, and I will try to get to them as quickly as possible. If this necessitates another RodeCaster Pro 2 Q&A stream, because we didn't get any questions this stream, if there's so many questions, I'll do a live stream and I will answer those questions live here on YouTube and show you guys how to do more things on here on the RodeCaster Pro 2. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys later on for the channel update stream.